How we doing, everybody?
How are you?
Good, good.
If there was one thing that you could point to that you like the most about the play of your quarterback so far, what stands out?
I think checking the ball down has been really good. You saw, a third down period today where they've got a lot of people in coverage and it's maybe a three-man rush and the ball's getting out of their hands into a back and we're running for a first down or at least getting a completion to be able to have a chance to do it rather than trying to throw it into coverage or interceptions. So I think they're doing a nice job of utilizing those checkdowns and with that the completion percentage gets higher and the backs catch more balls.
Are you too quick to do that, Danny? Can you tell your guys maybe let some patterns have open up and not
Yeah, there's a fine line there between just getting back there and checking it down and turning down an open throw down the field for sure. But in our, kind of in my history, the ones that do a nice job of looking at downfield and then getting it to that check down has been really good. It's been good, tough on the coverage. They've got everything covered downfield and you get the first down. You utilize the back more. I think that brings those linebackers tighter so you can throw it downfield later. So I think it works hand in hand, but it is a fine line between being too quick and being too late.
Hey, along with that, you guys are done with the helmets-only practices.
Yeah.
As the rest of the spring, how much more can you learn from your quarterbacks in an actual real football situation
Yeah.
where guys they're obviously not going to get, but there's pads popping and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that the speed is a little bit better. The collisions are real. The rush is more real. That's a mandated deal, that shorts, and it's probably good. They want it, they try to take care of the kids, and that's good. It's hard to simulate real football in a lot of positions, so you kind of have to live with it. But you can get a lot of fundamental work done on those days, a lot of technique stuff, and then the evaluations have to come with the pads on.
Coach, you hit on this a little before, but you lost your three prominent tight ends last year. How is it bringing in and teaching basically a whole new group that position?
Yeah, those guys, luckily we've had them here a little while, but there's a big learning curve. Tyler Hoppus was sick today, so you miss a day there out of the 15, which is unfortunate. I think there's been some good play from Matt Snyder, from Jack Stoll. I'm sure I'm missing some people. We don't have Ketter with an injury, so we're trying to get that group going and find out who's going to be our best two or three.
I know you guys are looking for some separation at running back. How's that been going today? Is someone starting to emerge in any way?
I like what Trey Bryant's done. I think he's had a good 8 practices. I think Mikael Wilbon has shown some improvement running the ball, pass protection. And I think Devine, I think he's been a little banged up here and there, so we haven't gotten as much work from him, but I think that group is good. We're trying to get Austin Rose and Wyatt Mazur in the mix and see how those two can respond and play and factor in on offense and special teams. And so it's a deep group, and we've got to kind of clean it down and get the guys playing that are going to travel and be on our squad.
What's Devine doing?
He's just been a little bit nicked up, a couple different things, but nothing major. He's had a couple of practices where he hasn't played the whole time, so he's been kind of hit and miss, but which means he hasn't gotten as many reps.
Coach, what's the difference between Mikael Wilbon last year and Mikael Wilbon this year? Where have you seen him in the specific areas and made that jump?
I think confidence in what he's doing. I think he's much more comfortable with the playbook, assignments, just a lot more confidence in going out there and lining up correctly and not going the wrong way or blowing an assignment. I just think that part of his game has improved. He's always had the physical tools. He's quick. He's got a good breakaway speed. He's dangerous on the perimeter. I think probably it's been a little bit more of a mental deal for him than anything, and I think he's improved there. He's learning, and with that, he's gotten more confidence.
With Michael Decker, how big of a jump has he made since the end of last season to know?
And I think he's made a lot of big strides. Good job of making calls and the communication part of it and getting the offensive line right. He's a smart kid. He really conscientious about what we're doing in his role and his job. So he works at it, but I think he's just coming along more and more where you can trust him to be getting us on the same page.
Is there any separation there at center? Is it pretty tight with him and John?
Yeah, I think we haven't had a lot of live stuff yet. So until we get some of the scrimmages run, it's not probably as good of an evaluation, but it's close. And John's done some nice stuff. They both have to work on their snaps. The shotgun snaps have been erratic, so that's got to get cleaned up by both of them. But they're both grinding it out and working hard in there, and I think it's just a matter of being more consistent by both of them.
You're also 2 weeks away from the spring game. What do you want to see development growth-wise in the offensive development?
I think just a big jump in consistency. The ups and downs, whether it's play to play or period to period, whatever we're working on, we just have to have better consistency. I think the work is really good. I think the energy level is great. We've got a lot of good kids that understand, in year 3 now what we're trying to do, a little bit better understanding with that. So I love that part of it. The quarterbacks are really battling. We want to get somebody to separate there, and that'll come with some more live work. But I like where we're at with this group. I think it's a bunch of good kids that like playing, and that shows with the energy at practice.
You guys have been able to get Keyshawn Johnson a little bit more involved in this first padded practice.
Yeah.
How good is that to see a kid that enrolled early finally get to be on the field?
Yeah, he's been through a lot too. With the kind of the late start and everything, he's finally getting into it, which has been good for him and good for us to see. He's going to be a good player in there. We just have to get him. He's a smart kid. His first padded day, it's probably his second practice, and he's able to line up and run plays. And that's impressive for a freshman, especially being here, 2 months or whatever it's been. So I'm excited about that for him, that he can go line up correctly and run a play. He's got to learn how to make a play. The game's a little faster than he's used to, and the balls are coming a little hotter. He's used to Tristan, but the other two are getting it to him quick also. So he's just got to get more comfortable, but I like what we've seen so far. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.